That would have been really bad.
It worked out really well. Nice timing. But we have the first bans coming through in the second game here. It'll be Braum aimed at Hustlin. I agree with that. I like banning away these tanky melee supports from Hustlin because there's not many of them. Maybe you can force him to go on something that he's less comfortable on. It's pretty good. He was causing some problems in the later team fights, but Vladimir will be taken away by Giants. No real surprise there. Irelia at Smitty J. I like to see teams respecting him now.
Now, does the Olaf get through on the last ban from Giants? Giants have already banned out the Vlad. Karma is still there. We will see whether Fnatic ban that out for themselves, because they can only get one of the two. So,
yeah. True that. That is how that works. Azir was another ban from Giants. 3 seconds remaining on Fnatic. They're going to ban away Karma. All right, taking away that high priority support or mid laner.
So Olaf ban into Nidalee or Nidalee ban into Olaf would be my gut instinct looking at this. I feel like Giants probably are better off doing the Nidalee ban and then giving the Olaf, but then we've seen both Gamsu and Spirit play it. But Fnatic tend to draft those lower crowd control compositions that kind of are difficult to pull off.
Yeah. I think I'd be more scared of Nidalee. Actually, I don't know what I'd be more scared of, because that's going to be a first locking up the Berserker himself, Olaf.
I'd be more scared of Spirit's Nidalee. Like,
yeah.
Legitimately, I feel like he has done what Max Lord just did to him to too many people to let that Nidalee go through. So I'm on board with what Giants have done here. What is this rotation coming out for them? Is this where they go for the Jhin side if they want to run it? Taking it away, perhaps?
Perhaps. Let's see what Giants want. Yeah, I think Jhin should be high priority for them. I really like Sunstar on that pick, but he did fine as Ashe. I mean, he did everything he needed to. He just launched an arrow and picked multiple kills.
Also, they could get the Swain here that we saw on Smitty J and maybe flex it between himself and Knight. Also, Knight's Victor, they could look to early pick it if they're looking to counter pick top lane. A lot of options still available here for the Giants on second rotation.
Yeah, hovering over the Jhin, hovering over Yasuo, but I think one of those two are going to be locked in, and it's not Yasuo. So Jhin being picked up here with Nami. I like that combination a lot. Saw it last game, and didn't do so well for Fnatic.
Yeah, stealing the bottom lane away. It's always a curious decision when you swap team compositions.
Yeah.
We saw that in Challenger with Nerve and Millennium this week, where Millennium ran a comp that failed, and then Nerve went, oh,
good composition, we'll take it.
I like the comp, you just didn't do it right, and then lost with it. I'm
yeah.
looking at it and I'm like, oh, I don't really know how I feel about that. But, you know, we won't have the Braum this time to do a full swap. We won't have the Nidalee either. So, some big picks taken away. If we see the Gnar locked in, obviously that tells us it's the Olaf in the jungle. So probably looking at support and potentially a blind pickable mid laner here, like a Victor for Febiven.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Oh, Gnar going to be locked in first, so we have that for sure. So it will be Olaf out of the jungle, Gnar going into the top lane. And now we are looking towards the last lock-in here from Fnatic on this rotation.
Which makes me completely wrong on what I was anticipating to come through on this rotation.
Oh, okay. Sivir going to be picked up. I mean, makes sense. Karma's been banned and you have an Olaf, so you want to be speeding him up, trying to get into those fights as fast as possible. Have him run all over Jhin, hopefully. And now it's down to Giants. See if they can play like a keep-away composition, perhaps. See what they pick up here.
And again, the Gnar now is going to compensate for some of the crowd control that Fnatic normally don't draft with these types of compositions. So we've still got options for support. They played the Alistar yesterday. I kind of don't want to see it again. I'm not a big fan of Alistar in the current meta. It's almost impossible to lane, especially into like Jhin, Nami. You have to lane swap.
Yeah.
And at that perspective, it's also difficult sometimes to orchestrate the dives that you need from Alistar. Yes, he's going to have teamfight presence, but apart from that, not a whole lot else.
True that. Not the same as he once was, unfortunately, that cow, but we will have Swain locked in once again for Giants. So, again, it's going to be a flex because we don't have two top or mid pickups, and Rek'Sai for the jungle for Max Law. So, just standing out of the jungle there. And, again, seeing Smitty on this Swain pick is so interesting to me because he did really well on that pick last game, albeit they were very far ahead. It's just not what I would consider a Smitty J champion.
And it's the same matchup now as well. Into the Gnar that we saw go even for a very long part of the game. It was only after that Executioner's Calling and a lot of extra damage that Swain actually started to fall off against the Gnar. So I wonder whether we'll see the same thing come out. But, I mean, the same solution as always was just put a couple of people's attention onto Smitty J, and as long as you don't lose anything on the other side of the map, you can really pick him apart. Does have a good start to the game, though.
All right, Rai is going to be picked up here for the mid lane as Nara is being picked up as well. And there's the yellow star bard we were talking about last Champions Select Stress.
Last time we saw it was really his TSM days. Wasn't the most convincing of games, honestly, when we look at it. A lot of people came away from that with a bit of a sour taste in their mouth, but we'll see whether he's worked on it. It also gives Fnatic, again, more engaged potential with this Olaf composition that they want to run. They've also got some good scaling now with the Rise, with the Sivir. So everything, again, from Fnatic is pushed all towards team fights. We'll see this time, without the Nidalee, can Giants get a good enough lead early to stop Fnatic from grouping?
It's very possible. Every time we've seen Sunstar and Jhin, we always see them get ahead early mid-game, really able to utilize that pick well, with specifically Rek'Sai as well. That only just clicked in my head. That was one of the big things they were using to accept Deadly Flourish with Praeseeker. So cool to see that come out from the jungle, facilitating Sunstar. Final pickup of Victor will go tonight. Had a pretty good game last game. I actually liked creative ways he was finding to look for flanks and land really big ultimates.
Yeah, that one fight where he cut down from the backside of the fight and was able to get in and punish Fnatic for trying to fight on two fronts. Really good example of the plays that we've started to see from Knight a little bit more. Saw a couple at the beginning of the split. Really settling with the rest of Giants. So Fnatic again on a team fight. On the side of Giants, honestly, they kind of want to do the same. Yes, they'll have the ability to be in a side lane with Rek'Sai and with Swain, but they've got a Jhin, they've got a Nami, Victor, Swain, Rek'Sai, like all good picks for the same kind of thing. So maybe we'll have a little bit more of a back and forth game.
Hopefully. Fnatic may be playing more defensive as well, but hopefully they won't get completely wrecked by Maxwell. I mean, he's not on Nidalee this time, he's on Rek'Sai, and Rek'Sai isn't going to destroy you in the jungle 1v1 compared to a pick like Nidalee who can snowball really hard. So at least that is something that Fnatic can sigh a little bit and breathe a sigh of relief. There we go, that was the phrase. I was just like, just sigh. And
we have
like,
messed up a lot of idioms.
We have idioms, synonyms, metaphors.
Idioms for idiots.
That's us. This is the duo. Welcome to the Pulse and Stress cast. But we're going to get into the second game here. But first, I'm going to use the hashtags FNC win and GIA win. You think is going to take this one home? I wonder if the fan support of Fnatic is stronger than what we saw from game one from Giants. I'm actually very curious. But we are about to get into game here. You can hear the crowd getting hyped and getting ready. And the fan support, in the studio at least, is definitely over to Fnatic. But we're about to get onto the ref here, Stress, for this second game and our final game of not only the day, but also the week between Fnatic and Giants.
And this marks game number 100 for the split. That's a lot of games already, so...
There's a lot of games, can confirm. Already had more than last split combined in the regular season. But Knight, he's gonna fan out. Man, you must be really scared of your Giants right now. You can literally hear not only the chants from Fnatic, but the entire studio is literally rumbling.
Yeah, and we don't even have one in this game. Goku's in there a little bit. Oh, Max Low. He's not going to die because he's under the turret. I was debating intentionally tilting you by making bad and misaligned anime references. I did it to Trevor this week with the, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, the Rasengan. I was like, I never watched Dragon Ball anyway. The look he gave me in Challenger.
I'm glad he did that. Props to Trevor on that one. But, alrighty. So, yeah, I saw Olaf running towards Max and I was like, yeah, he's fine. Like, Olaf's not going to completely murder him. Spirit actually popped Ghost there, interestingly enough. It's like, I'm going to run at you real fast. I'm going to scare you. I'm going to send a message early game so you don't come into my jungle again.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be off cooldown realistically by the next time they meet each other.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Once you take both buffs, that kind of thing, it should be okay for Spirit. We're also looking to be in Australia lanes. So, as we start this game off, Featherman had a pretty tough time last game. This time he's running the Rise into Victor, so you kind of assume maybe a slight advantage for Knight in the laning phase, but ultimately Featherman's going to be able to farm himself up fairly confidently, and we saw this earlier coming out in the HK matchup, where Ryu managed to turn it on at the end of the game. Heavy damage going to come out from this bard lane though, but Sunstar and Hustlin wanted to call it. They take the 2v2 intentionally, having themselves with that Thunderlords now on Jhin. We talked about it in the last game, Sunstar ran it. So a lot of damage going to come out in response.
Yeah, looking towards the early mid game. That is really where Giants want to be getting ahead as well, so it makes a lot of sense. Spirit is waiting in the jungle though. Maxlor may become the hunted in this game here, Stress.
Oh,
There's the undertow. Maxlor is low. He's going to go underneath, get the knock up, and now Red Buff's also chiming in. Maxlor jumps after Spirit. He gets the 1v1 kill against Spirit. Maxlor, first blood. Yellowstar coming in here, not going to get the red buff. He's going to be closed in by Hustling as well. Needs to be dodging some skill shots. Has to flash out of the way of the deadly flourish. But Sunstar is still encroaching on him. Force shot lands, dancing grenade. Hustling and Maxlor will be receiving a cosmic binding. Actually landed onto Sunstar as well, but that was an invade gone very, very wrong.
Maxlor is getting right into Spirit's mind right now. Reads the players. Spirit comes out of the bush by throwing the axe. He's just like, okay, well, if you're going to be there while you know, Red Buff's still attacking.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, mid lane, Featherman's so low.
He's so low and he's so far pushed up. Maxlor, easiest gank of the century right there. Comes in, gets the knock up, gets the kill.
2-0. Maxlor now wants himself potentially another red buff here as he's going to look to take away Spirit for now, but decides against it, backs away towards his own side of the map. Doesn't want to be overextended too far. 2 kills already is a great start for Maxlor. Currently has nearly 1,400 gold in the bank, just over 1,300 right now.
Oh my god. I was coming into this game and I was just like, wow, he doesn't have Nidalee, he doesn't have an early aggressive jungler this time, and he still gets 2 kills at 3 minutes into the game.
And that's what we were talking about, was like, how can you do it on Rek'Sai? Because Rek'Sai shouldn't be able to bully out Olaf. Well, if he gets the help from
Red buff.
the Bramble back in the jungle, wails away with a couple of hits from that, but now we're seeing even this bottom lane. SmittyJ's had a bit of a lead in the 1v1 for a while now, has a slight CS advantage as well. Giants starting out game 2 exactly like they started out game 1.
Unbelievable. And really, I feel like Fnatic outplayed themselves, at least in the early game. Sunstar receiving a bit of damage in that lane from Yellowstar, just abusing vision there. Maxwell is going to head into the bottom lane now. At least this time, he's going to be spotted out by a preemptive ward. And another ward over the wall, so yeah, won't be getting a gank onto the spot lane for now. Still pressure onto Gamsu. Look how far back he is in this lane.
Yeah, sat well back. It's interesting, you'd say, Fnatic undoing themselves with the plays early, because that's exactly what we saw happen yesterday against G2, where Fnatic went, okay, let's try an unorthodox play. Let's put Spirit top lane, try and get a kill here. Oh wait, they had TP. End up losing the fight horribly in game 2 early on, and it tilts the game away from them. So Fnatic seem to be in kind of panic mode in a lot of these scenarios where they lose game 1, and they aren't able to stabilize properly in game 2 without trying to make some wild play for themselves.
Yeah, not looking too hot right now. Maxlor, he's coming into this top lane. Not currently warded from Fnatic.
Yellowstar's no flash, remember?
No flash, but he's near full health. Sunstar's going to come forward with the 4th shot. Maxwell instantly exhausted. Doesn't have flash, remember, but Reckless could still be under attack. Double knock-up anyway. Bubble lands. Sunstar gets the 4th shot and the kill. 3-0 Giants.
Again, Giants are punishing Fnatic's early game play. Fnatic try and invade on the red. They had to use so many summoners and different abilities to get away from that situation earlier that now Maxlor is just getting his duo lane further and further ahead when it comes to kills, but they are down in CS. Spirit getting zoned away from his own jungle right now.
This is not really good at all for Spirit. He's going to run back towards Maxlor as Fevman's going to try and help him out Rune Prison. Maxlor's going to shrug off a lot of this damage, but he gets the full combo. Here's the tunnel.
Oh wow, he's
Hudson
out.
is still there. Yeah, I mean, he was fine by himself pretty much.
The difference between Febby at level 6 though is he didn't have the chase potential.
Yeah,
it was only level 5. Yeah, if he'd have had that extra ability to kind of stick on top of Maxlor, maybe been able to get it.
That's true. This bottom lane matchup as well has not only been an island, but there's been slight advantages. All right, we'll touch on that in a second, but let's take a look at this gank once more. I thought he was fine.
Chilling
he was very not.
Allows for the W as well after some of the damage from Maxlor, and then W into bubble.
That was it.
Easy off the Unburrow.
That's all she wrote. Yeah, another great gank and another game where Maxlor is really setting up Sunstar. Mid-lane Knight 1v1 against Feathervin, and he is ticking down, and luckily he's going to run out of this ultimate. Knight was actually trying to go off to the side to try and keep the speed up, as, of course, as the storm gets away from him. It will slow down. Gamsu.
Wait, hang on. Dual lane's bot lane here. Gamsu goes aggressive.
And Smitty, he jumps onto SmittyJ. He'll get the Gnar ultimate down, but Sunstar and Hustler are easily able to pick up the kill.
Gamsu thought the duo lane was going back top lane. There was no information that Giants were putting their duo side bot. No wards out to defend against that. Gamsu thought this was just a run-of-the-mill attempted trade. Turns out it's a bait all along, and Giants again a 4-0 up against Fnatic.
Oh my word. I mean, no one expects that to ever happen. It's like in solo queue. It's like, why is the bottom lane here? But then they're not really getting much in return. Sansa and Huston are going to take this bottom tower. Probably going to trade the top tower for it. But another kill over to Giants. Sunstar's getting big. Maxor is already big. Smitty J has definitely won this matchup now. And Fnatic, yes, they won a group up in the same way that they did last time. But this is literally a carbon copy of the last game.
So let's take a look at these matchups down the line. So,
I'm looking.
Top lane, Smitty J, we said it would roughly be even, but he's coming out slightly ahead here. Gamsu then getting punished in the setup. Mid lane, again, is going Knight's way. They've had a lot of presence onto Featherman from that early game gank that Maxwell managed to pick up the kill. Bottom lane, though, the farm is the big difference. Reckless is way up on Sunstar as well. So they need to get a little bit of farm onto this Jhin before they can really look to group effectively, but it's kind of evened out back and forth between the teams. But 2 kills on the Jhin is going to make up for a lot of the farm that's missing.
He's
so
equal.
you can't really mess with that.
He's equal gold with Reckless, so it doesn't matter how badly he farms in lane or how he's got out-farmed by Reckless, he's still even. And he's quickly getting towards his first item here. Maxor didn't quite get the Praise Seeker down onto Spirit, but he'll go into a bottom side of the jungle, knowing that Hustle and the Maxor are just warding this so hard.
It's funny you'd say warding. If observers could perhaps vision toggle for us when there's no action, you'll see the difference.
So we can't see the bot lane trade.
Yeah, exactly. Can't see the trade. There's a major difference in vision control. Look at all the red wards spattered around the bottom side, and just honestly everywhere through Fnatic's top and bottom jungle. Fnatic barely even have their own jungle camps warded, let alone anywhere that's spotting Giants out effectively.
Yeah, Fnatic have 1 pink ward that luckily Maxor didn't spot. But Giants are going to take the top tower here. Will that be traded in the bottom side? Well, Smitty J's there, and he might be able to defend. Tempered Fate's going to CC the tower for now. Here comes Spirit. Smitty J shouldn't be able to get out here alive. Flashes over the tower, but has been exhausted. Finally, Spirit will take him out. Magical Journey will save the life of Yellowstar, and at least that's something going over to Fnatic.
Omreka Bard in action right there. Tower did fall in the top side. Should be evened up for Fnatic on the next minion wave that pushes in. So the trade will be in Fnatic's favor for now. It is Cloud Drake though, so it's not like they can bounce from this and take like an Infernal or a Mountain. Honestly, that was one of the big factors that helped Giants, was the RNG perhaps of going back-to-back Mountain Drakes of the early game. Gave them a little bit too strong pushing potential, but hey, they got the lead, they got the Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, you can still say to Fnatic, you should have fell behind them. Yeah. I mean, still lost all those dragons. Still useful regardless when you get that Elder Dragon. And Maxor, I mean, when a Rek'Sai has the freedom to go into an Olaf's jungle and just take away his red buff, like completely uncontested, you know things have gone pretty wrong in the early game. And
this is one of the situations where I think back to what Featherman and Perks were talking about. I know I've said this a couple of times today, about these picks like Olaf, like Hecarim, which in scrims can go like 16-0 is the figure they used. It's an exaggeration, but it says the same point. If you don't get those kills, it is very difficult on a pick like Olaf to try and get the same kind of flank effectiveness that you would have on a top lane Olaf, because top lane Olaf can TP in from the side. Very easy setup comparatively, whereas now Spirit has to somehow go through the front door using the speed up from Reckless and somehow stay alive. It's not like he's got Shen shields coming out on him either, so they're going to rely on Yellowstar to start the fight and see whether Spirit can do enough to hold them.
I mean, that's the key really here. It's got to be from a Tempered Fate. Featherman, as soon as he comes in, gets immediately bubbled, but Gamsu is also on top of there looking for the TP. Hustlin is not going to go anywhere. Who wants to pick up the kill? It's going to be Reckless. And Fnatic do find a kill in return.
Giants too far out against double TP with no tower behind them. Makes for an easy kill pickup for Fnatic. I was going to say, do they transition that into a Cloud Drake? The answer for now is no. They don't actually feel like that's valuable right now. Reckless pushes at the bottom lane. Fnatic kind of just regress back. I guess they're content with closing some of the gap between the teams right now.
And that will allow Fnatic to push down the bottom lane as well before Sunstar and Huston are able to react. So how are we doing right now? The gold differential is not as bad as it was a couple minutes ago, almost edging on 3,000 gold, now just over 1,000. So Fnatic closing in here. Giants are able to take the consolation prize of the Rift Herald in the top side. There's a Tempered Fate in the mid lane, going to be flashed out by 9, but great ultimate from Yellowstar to burn that Summoner. And his Herald is putting up a fight, especially because Smitty is out of mana, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but they're going to give this one to Maxor, actually, not for the 1v1 for Smitty.
Well, I mean, Smitty's going to be fairly confident against Gamsu until that Executioner's Calling comes out. He's ahead again in this matchup, and Maxor over on the side lane is going to be fairly strong himself. So expect Rek'Sai to be down over bottom or top, and then ult his way back towards the rest of the team setup. So it does have its uses. Maxwell's still a level up on Spirit. I am looking, though, at this matchup in the mid lane. Featherman down in CS again. We talked about the matchup earlier, although Yellowstar wants to look at bottom lane first. Gives the game away. Yeah, Magical Journey, unfortunately, can be seen by your enemies. And Sunstar and Hudson were already a little too far back to really get Spirit in there. He did have Ragnarok and Ghost. So 2 and 4 in this game, currently 13 minutes in. No one has gone for the initial Cloud Dragon. Is still surviving on the map. Top lane, finally getting this 1v1 again. Gamsu, really sad, because like every time we see him, he's always just like hopping away, and the one time he goes in happens to be Sunstar and Hudson. It's like, really? Really unlucky. Sad, yeah. But yeah, we have kind of stabilized a little bit, so both teams just backing off. And this is good for Fnatic. They can finally get to a point in the game where they can group up as 5 and actually use their composition without just being horrifically behind before they get to that point. Or maybe not, because Maxwell's going to find him in the mid lane. Tidal Wave will land onto Yellowstar, and Maxwell's still following after that Queen's Wrath, but he'll be locked in place. Febvin coming in. Maxwell survived, so does Yellowstar. And meanwhile, on the top side, Gamsu and Spirit aggressing onto Smitty J, but the bird just simply won't die. He's going to go down eventually, but it's going to take a long time to do it. Finally, we'll get him. And Reckless is under fire as well. Hudson and Maxwell will come in for the kill alongside Knight. So that was a 1-for-1 trade across the map. Got the shield out after all, but the second shot that followed hit him. And man, at this point, Smitty J doesn't have the mana on the top side to be able to make those 1v2 plays. Yes, he's got Rod of Ages, but he still can't take the same damage to give him mana back off a tank like that. So really, Smitty J biting off more than he could shoot at that point. Giants managed to capitalize with a kill onto Reckless at that point, but still Reckless has the farm advantage. He's been doing a good job of that so far this game. Giants pushed that middle tower, will maintain their lead. They've extended it back up to around 3,000 though. It was at 1.5, now they've got a little bit more. Yeah, not looking too bad for Fnatic. It's good that Reckless is on basically a vacuum cleaner of a ADC where he just like walks into a lane, sucks up all the minions, and just walks mid lane, Fem's like, put my farm. But Maxlaw comes in here, looking really good for Giants once again, also tagging him with the Tidal Wave, but Fnatic do turn it around. Yeah, heal came out onto Yellowstar, was able to heal himself as well. There was an exhaust in the mix. A lot was used from Fnatic, so we can take a look. Reckless was just stepping too far up in the lane. Forced to flash out. Sidestep was on, but it was shot number 4 that actually killed him then, I guess. Oh no, it was shot 4 was in the right place, but Mike got the kill. Yeah. Meanwhile, Bardock was just used bottom lane. Did not catch Sunstar though. Forces the flash out. So like, we can keep track of that. Sunstar had to flash away, won't have it for the next fight. Yellowstar's been doing a good job this game. We were trying to think, or trying to look at how well it does, because of North America we were not too impressed with his Bard, but in this game he's burned a lot of flashes and had some really good engages with the Tempered Fate. Of course, had this set up in the bottom lane onto that tower, so far been pretty good from Yellowstar. And now in this middle lane, we'll be able to siege in here. However, Maxor is looking for a kill onto Yellowstar. He'll be taking the Magical Journey, so will Reckless, but Knight's there to greet them. Ultimate comes in, and the long-range ultimate from Sunstar will be locking down Yellowstar. The laser and the ultimate from Knight will eventually finish him off. Spirit's going to have to back away, so will Reckless and Featherman. And that's just another kill over to Giants. And Yellowstar right now is good at a play set as he's been picking up here with the ults coming through, burning summoners time and time again. He's still very squishy, so if he does overextend like that with the rest of Fnatic, they can fairly easily be picked off by Sunstar. We heard Veritas talking about it, how easily you can burst people down. Uh-oh, Featherman probably shouldn't have stepped forward there, right into a bulb from Hudson. Another lockdown, another kill. Giants will be happy to pick up that kill and the middle lane tower. Another tower going over to Giants. This time they don't have the 3 Mountain Drakes that preceded the hemorrhaging of towers that Fnatic had in the last game. Looks like they're collapsing on bottom lane just to push that back out. I was going to say maybe Cloud Drake, but they split up again. Nobody wants Cloud Drake. Come on, just take it. Get the next one.
Exactly. Get the next
Get a
one.
fun one.
And plus, like, it's still 45 extra damage over time when you pick up the Elder Dragon. That's what it gives you, not the movement speed. But it's just like, yeah, just
you lost me for a
else.
second there. It's like, did we change that? No, yeah, Elder Drake. Okay, we're like 30 minutes away from that.
Exactly. It's still something. But it's 17 minutes in here. In the games we had yesterday, it was like 22 minutes before we saw anyone go for that. And they only picked up, Giants only picked it up because Knight could solo it. That's the only reason they went for it.
So sad.
Yeah. Because honestly, at this stage, okay, maybe you don't want to step out if you're Fnatic, because every time they do step out, they lose someone. So.
Like, again, I don't feel like... So it's being changed coming up, right? And it gives it an extra +10, I think, is on the change. Full disclosure, patch notes don't normally get checked by the caster team until, like, it's actually live on the patch. So I don't think that really fixes one individual Cloud Drake. Like, sure, that gets so much faster when you get 3, and then Elder, brilliant. I was never contesting that 3 Cloud Drakes with Elder was bad. Gamsu would like 3 right now because he's getting caught.
Hop, gets out of the bubble. Spirit's there to help him, but this is all going to fizzle out. Yellowstar's coming in. There's a man called Journey looking to cut off Maxlaw. Needs a Cosmic Binding. Austin's going to have to flash away. Spirit's chasing after as well. Knight's going to come into this one, and the TPs will rain down. And your Sunstar is getting these long-range artillery shots down onto 800 damage crit. Onto Spirit will finish him off. Double kill out for Sunstar there. And Giants will be locked in place by Yellowstar, salvaging this situation just a little. A 1-for-2 trade for Giants. He's still under attack. Beatrice will slow him down. Get him, Bird. All right, he's going to have to flash away. And
again, it forces them away from the tower that Fnatic now can't really afford to defend it because of how all of this crowd control is coming out. I mean, that 4th hit that lands, we always get a little surprised by the damage because it just hit a tank in Mega Gnar form with all of those added resistances, smashes straight through about a quarter of his health and takes him out from the fight. And I mean, you can relish in the fact that it happens again. Gamsu trying to be a little tricky on the way out. Ever so close on that bubble to landing. So Gamsu then wants to turn the fight around, ends up in Mega Gnar. It looks good for Fnatic after a while, but there's a good Nami ult that comes through here. It kind of disrupts what Spirit and Gamsu want to do. Of course, Spirit was in his ultimate form right there, so didn't actually get knocked up by it. But at that point, the positioning in the fight is made a lot more difficult by that Nami ultimate. They cannot keep the damage going.
No, they cannot. 20 minutes into this game, and it's not quite as dire as it was last game, but still pretty bad. Here comes Manical Jones through the wall, and it will be Yellowstar to pick up the blue buff, so we'll be happy with that for now. At least denying it from Smitty is a big deal. Yeah,
they really would have wanted that to go on Smitty J. We saw his mana issues earlier, and he's building towards that Zhonya's Hourglass next, so it doesn't inherently fix the mana issues, so that blue buff would have been nice for him to add there. Ooh, Maxlaw. We saw a couple of over-aggressive plays from Maxlaw in the first game when they had a lead, when they were looking to close out the game, but this time Maxlaw maybe not quite having the same confidence that we saw in game 1 where he was like, I carried the early game.
Yeah, I can do whatever I want now. It's my birthday. I'm just going to walk into the enemy team 1v3. It's fine.
I'm pretty sure it's you can cry if you want to, not you can take control of somebody else's jungle and crush them in 35 minutes if you want to.
Well, you're not wrong. I mean, it's also Spirit's birthday, but it's not had the best of performances, unfortunately.
He can cry if he wants to.
Yeah,
that's how the song goes. So I hope he's not, though, because he came straight out of this game and was just like, okay, I'm going to invade you level 2. Yeah. I'm going to try and kill you. You managed to get red buff to fight against me and really screw me over in the early game.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but no tears in this game. Only Rise has picked up a tier of the goddess so far.
I thought you were saying only Dreams.
Only Dreams. Yeah. Dreams and Challenger, mate. But Maxlaw
walking off.
All right, it's not a solo cast. Maxlaw has still been doing very well in this game. 8 assists in this game total, of course, with those 2 kills out of 9. So he's had a big part of Giant success. Yes, he was kind of set up by Spirit, funny enough, by him just walking into the zone. I was like, hey, you want a kill? Here's a kill. And red buff double manned him. But hey, yeah, Cloud Dragon go down. 21 minutes. The first Cloud Dragon. Let me check what the next dragon's going to be here, Stress. Cloud Dragon.
Come on. Just once. We've actually been fairly lucky with the Cloud Breaks. Oh.
Whoop.
Switching
swap.
Febby wants the Swain, though. That's where he's really going.
Yeah, Smitty.
Oh, they're going to go Baron at the same time. Look, the Rek'Sai up towards the top side of the map. Fnatic have way overcommitted bottom side.
He just needs to buy time. It's fine that he dies here, and Giants are immediately onto this Baron. I don't even think Fnatic can remotely contest, and they're sending 3 members up the river. They're just going to go back and farm. I mean...
Fnatic, I mean... The play was somewhat right if you only commit a handful of people to that play.
Not 5.
If you commit maybe 2 or 3 maximum people, if you've got teleport users there, you can actually take out the Swain and then be able to defend a position like that. But Fnatic were getting pushed in the top side. They didn't really have any answers.
I mean, that was the easiest play for Giants to make. I mean, it was just like around the Baron area, and it's just like, well, this is easy.
A very decisive play as well, because, I mean, Maxlow goes, okay, well, let's just go for the Baron.
Yeah.
And ults his way out. Had anybody from Fnatic kind of been around Maxlow, he wouldn't have been able to. Would have got stopped before he would ult. But man, that's a play that shows a lot of confidence from this Giants lineup. And I guess why wouldn't they be? I mean, the only thing really not going their way is the farm currently in the AD carry role, but the farm everywhere else and the number of kills that your AD carry has is well and above what Giants need right now.
Easy outweighs it, and even in terms of gold, he's actually ahead of Reckless, despite how much farm Reckless has been soaking up in this game. And 23 minutes in now, Giants are significantly ahead, 7,000 gold. Yes, it's gone a little bit differently from game 1, but I mean, Fnatic are also in a position where they want to group up for these team fights. We'll find it very difficult with no reliable engage. I guess like Yellowstar is the only guy really. It's can he land the Tempered Fate? If not, then let's hope that Gamsu can get a TP in. If not, then well, let's reset for the next 5 minutes and wait for our summoners again. Yeah,
I mean, Yellowstar's got a bunch of flashes out already, but without being able to utilize those flashes being down. Oh, bubble on Reckless.
Oh, wow. Full combo with the Tidal Wave. Reckless is going to have to flash away. Here's the long-range damage. Someone's going to have to body block for him. Luckily, he's out of range in time. Defensive ultimate from Reckless has to burn every single summoner he has. And Giants are going to use this opportunity to take this bottom lane tower. It is dying awfully quickly, with its minion wave also flooding in. Reckless can't clear out. He only just comes into this bottom lane, and Giants are still looking for more.
Gamsu's only just recalling here as well, so it's not even like one of their crowd control tools is available, because he just had Mega Knight expire. Oh man, this has been so good for Giants, despite the fact they didn't actually pick up the kill. Just getting that damage down just cracked the base of Fnatic open completely.
What a creative way as well to open up that opportunity, because you do not expect when you're in your own base to get bubbled and then full comboed by a Victor who happens to be hanging around the wall. So Reckless, I mean, just taking a leisurely stroll on the base, and that was not safe at all. Spirit and Febvin are going to go towards this blue buff now, and Smitty J really wanted it. Go on, Bird, get it for me. No, unfortunately out of range, so he'll be flying away. And Knight is going to take the other blue buff, so Smitty J eternally without blue buff, unfortunately. Not a great day.
Feels bad. So the interesting thing is, so a 2-0 for Giants right now actually wouldn't change the standings at this current time. But what it would do for Giants is give them a 4-point buffer between 6th and 7th, which that's the playoff spots that we're looking for. We're on the road to Worlds. We're looking for those playoff opportunities. Yep. Maybe get yourself to Krakow and get yourself a good spot in the gauntlet. A 4-point berth between yourself and the next person is actually a significant amount when you look at how many draws the teams underneath have been getting. I mean, most of the teams beneath have had like 6 draws and 1 win only, which that's going to be like 4 more draws. And Giants have to lose every game.
But it's huge. I mean, like, Giants, those 2-0s really count. We were saying this at the start of the season, but we were saying it kind of like, oh, if they want to get out of relegation. Now they're looking towards playoffs.
And the fact that they'll also pretty much steal points from Fnatic when you look at it. Fnatic would be looking at this expecting to at least pick up a point from this series. Yeah. But Giants are about to shut them out.
Here's the engage here from Fnatic, trying to make something happen, but Spirit runs in and instantly dies. Gamsu is in from behind, but they don't even want this fight anymore. Fedman's getting eaten down by Smitty J. The long-range damage in from Sodstar. Triple kill for Giants, double kill for Knight. Giants, 26 minutes in, are actually looking to finish the game. Yellowstar and Gamsu can't defend. What is even going on? Gamsu, he's back into mini form, and there's 5 men there from Giants who are all basically full health. The second Nexus turret dying. I can't even believe my eyes. Giants are going to take the 2-0 over Fnatic this week.
an insane performance out from Giants. Really have to commend some of their early game.